In the land of Project Zomboid, where life is simpler, yet ironically more chaotic, I had an epiphany. Instead of seeking solace in one place, why not embrace the open road? There's a saying, why stay put when the world is your oyster? I once believed every house in Project Zomboid was a fortress of dreams. Stock up, bunker down, and wait for the storm to pass. But what if that storm never passed? What if the real challenge was in never stopping? The world outside has so much more than four walls and a roof. Every corner, every wrecked car, every abandoned shack has its own story. The thrill isn't in just getting to know a place, but in knowing when to say goodbye. So, I set up my own challenge, the nomad life. There will be no settling, no base, just living life as our ancestors intended. I decided to start with the park ranger occupation, which provides some good skills, and to simulate someone unprepared for a stationary life, I chose traits like restless sleeper, fear of blood, hearty appetite, prone to illness, unlucky, slow reader, and Sunday driver. On the flip side, I chose traits like cat's eye, outdoorsman, wakeful, inconspicuous, fast learner, and stout to mirror someone always on the move and ready for whatever comes next. Meet Wanderman, an embodiment of the restless spirit of adventure with a dash of recklessness. As I spawned into the world of Project Zomboid, a random house welcomed me, perhaps for the first and last time. Wasting no time, I ransacked the starter house, stuffing my pockets with the essentials: food, a can opener, a flashlight, and a few handy meds. It was kind of like in a post-apocalyptic shopping spree. I stumbled across a duffel bag during the search. This meant more space and more loot. And with supplies in hand, I embarked on my true nomadic adventure. Of course, I curiously glanced into the shed and was disappointed, except for the propane tank. Mental note, should have grabbed that one. On my way out, a cart in the driveway caught my eye. Inside, a note, hinting about my son in Louisville. Suddenly, a personal mission added weight to my steps. Adventure finally calls to me, and I left the safety of my starter house. I found another house, but as I ventured in, it seemed zombies had also followed me and broke down the doors, so I ran. A quick check on the taxi out front, had no gas, but did have a key. I was on my feet again, fleeing from the Zeds. As the landscape shifted into a neighborhood, I headed north. A fire station loomed ahead, promising resources. My first zombie kill marked the beginning of the station conquest. I made sure to grab some military boots off a fallen zombie, a very practical upgrade, and after breaking into the fire station, I could sense the abundance within. Of course, it was an ambush, and zombies burst out of the laundry room and wanted to eat me. I found refuge and a moment alone in the gym room, gathering my wits and stamina, and then I tackled the horde head-on, picking them off slowly. After killing the zombies, I checked out some of the rooms, and there it was, gleaming on the shelf, a fire axe. This would be my Excalibur. Then, checking the med room, I stocked up on any additional meds I might need in my journey. A few minutes passed by, and I had cleared and looted the fire station. I settled down to enlighten myself with a fantastic book called Foraging, Volume 2. Unfortunately, I struggled to read even a cereal box and gave up halfway. So I proceeded to wash off the grime and blood off of my attire. After successfully raiding the fire station, it was time to see what else this world had in store for me. With renewed spirit and clean clothes, I assessed the nearby vehicles in the parking lot. Unfortunately, none were working or had any gas. Onward to the police station. Hopefully, I can find some good loot there. Fire axe proved its worth, slicing through zombies with a power I hadn't yet anticipated. As I scavenged the zombies, I found myself a holster and a revolver. This could definitely be useful later. Unfortunately, the day had taken its toll. I decided it was time to rest. I would use the fire station as a temporary sanctuary for tonight. Morning came swiftly, starting day 2 of the challenge. I decided to lighten my load, preparing for a raid on the police station. One can surely never have too many weapons. After running up to the police station and killing a few zombies, I found a security key glistening in the pocket of a dead guard. This would definitely be my ticket to the armory. It was worth it, because I found a direct upgrade to my revolver, the M9 pistol, and several mags with a generous serving of ammunition. Today is turning out much better than I initially expected. After raiding the station, I ran outside to check for some working police cars, and disappointingly, my search turned up empty. So it seems I'll be on foot for a while. In the meantime, I took a quick stop at the fire station to gather the things I left. And then I was now off to explore more of this forsaken city, and hopefully find a vehicle to leave it. After running for a while, I found a church. A symbol of hope, some might say. Alas, even its cars failed to start. A scream pierced the air, a chilling reminder that danger is never far. And so, I ran far away from there because zombies were sure to come. Literally less than a minute later, I found and had broken into a warehouse, hoping to find some goods. As it turns out, this warehouse was actually the backside of a supermarket. There were boxes upon boxes of food. A true nomad's treasure. After filling up my bag and pockets with food, I got out of there and immediately had to fend off against more zombies. Exhausted, I took a moment to catch my breath. Nothing like some good old chocolate to lift the spirits. On to the next building. Turned out to be a mechanic shop. Useful, but not really what I needed. My next stop was a gas station, and of course, the undead were there to greet me. I quickly struck them down, but unfortunately, as the battle went on, my hemophobia was kicking in, making me extremely stressed. I desperately needed to rinse off the splattered blood on me and my clothes. I found a bathroom, and then I cleaned it up a bit, using whatever I could find. I had to use the sinks to wash my attire, but that ran out of water, so I had to use the toilet to clean my face. Hopefully, I don't catch some kind of deadly virus because of this. I had left the bathroom to check out the gas station. I found some food, and even better, maps. Maps might be one of the most important things for me because they could help me locate cities along the way to my son. I also found an annotated map with a circle on it. A clue? Or a trap? Checking upstairs, stressed to the max for some reason, I smoked some cigarettes. It helped. Momentarily. Venturing deeper into the gas station, I stumbled upon a back room. To my surprise, there were a few gas cans. Eager to stock up, I grabbed them and headed outside, but not to siphon gas, to fill them up for later. Being a nomad means thinking ahead. Always. Exhaustion began to weigh me down, and with night approaching, I decided to call it a day. The gas station offered a fragment of shelter, so I caught a few hours of sleep. Even in this world, sleep doesn't guarantee peace. I woke up to the sounds of groaning and shuffling. The dead had entered my refuge, and with no choice, I killed them. And then abandoned my shelter. The moon had unveiled a blessing, a bicycle. In a world overrun by zombies, it might just be the perfect vehicle for a nomad. Pedaling down the road, I followed the annotated map. It led me to the marked house, and I wonder what secrets it held in store for me. As I parked the bike next door, a few zombies appeared. With resolve, I tackled them head on and swiftly killed them. Midnight had struck, beginning the start of day 3. And to start off that day, I was shoved from a zombie jumping out of a window. Room by room, corner by corner, I methodically cleared the house, ensuring it was devoid of any lingering threats. In the midst of searching, something caught my eye. A hiking bag. With its perfectly rugged design and ample space, this was a nomad's dream come true. The house seemed to be well worth the trip, as my search also revealed several firearms and more magazines from my trusty M9. Intrigued by what else this place might offer, I checked the shed. Amidst the clutter, I had spotted a rope, which I instinctively felt would prove invaluable down the road. Needing a moment of respite, I returned to my house with the trusty bike parked out front. I took a moment to loot it, and importantly, rinse myself of the grime and gore. As I prepared to depart, a surprise awaited. A single bike trailer laid in an open driveway. Of course, it was literally right next to the house that I just raided. A couple of zombies loitered around it, so I dispatched them. With the rope I found earlier, I expertly attached the trailer to my bike, expanding my transport and storage capabilities. I took this upgraded vehicle to the gas station, filling it with supplies and food. Map in hand, I plotted my next move. Every inch closer to my son felt like a step towards redemption. Remembering the mechanic shop, I pedaled back to ensure I didn't overlook any essentials. There was a few zombies, but I made quick work of them. Scavenging once more, I found a welding mask, perhaps a sign of tougher times and tougher challenges ahead. After some much-needed cleanup, it was time. With the map as my guide, my upgraded bike as my steed, and hope as my fuel, I embarked on the journey to explore the world and find my son, the true north of my compass. The road ahead would be filled with danger and mystery, but no peril was too great for Wanderman. As I biked the open roads, I thought about many things. Things like, if roads lead to destinations and life's a journey, does that mean every pothole is just a plot twist? Why is it raining in July? If zombies eat fast food, do they prefer the drive-thru? After my deep thoughts, I came across a seemingly abandoned warehouse that materialized out of the trail I was on. Hoping to find something worthwhile, I ventured in, combing through its vast interiors. Unfortunately, there wasn't much of value, and I walked away since I already had enough food. Emerging from the warehouse, I checked the truck for keys, but luck was not on my side. I returned to my trusted bicycle, hoping to make some tweaks. The added weight of the trailer affected its performance. Despite my best efforts, the bike did not cooperate, and felt sluggish, and pulled to the left a lot. The sky was starting to grow darker, signaling it was time to find shelter for the night. So I got on my bike, and after a few twists and turns, I found myself pedaling towards a nice looking house. This home wasn't as empty as it seemed. I was greeted by a bunch of zombies with party hats, and the worst part, I wasn't even invited, so I brutalized them with my axe. Room by room, I asserted my dominion, ensuring the house was safe and secure. Looking through what was once a lively household, I stumbled upon a stylish leather jacket. It was rugged, offering both protection and flair, a perfect fit for a wanderer man. As the night had begun to creep in, I took precautions, closing all curtains. I created a semblance of safety, and with a full stomach from scavenged food, I surrendered to the lull of fatigue. Dawn broke, and with the new day came a familiar routine. I lit up a cigarette and then went downstairs to scavenge the kitchen for a meal. Before leaving, I felt compelled to check the party zombies from the previous night. Were they celebrating something? Was it some cruel joke on me? I may never know. I glanced at my map one last time and ensured my route was clear. The open road stretched ahead as I hopped back onto my trusty bicycle. The world seemed oddly serene, with the sun's gentle warmth on my back. Every so often, a zombie would cross my path, but I'd skillfully dodge and continue, unfazed. A roadside fruit stand interrupted my thoughts. I dismounted and approached the car out front, hopeful for keys, but to no avail. However, the stand had some fresh zucchini and corn, a brief taste of normalcy in this apocalyptic world. Resuming my journey, the road called to me once more. After a brief map check, I veered left, drawn to a pair of houses that gave off an old world charm. I navigated to the back of them and made my entry. The shed of the first house had some intriguing items, sheets, and, interestingly, a fitness contraption. Perhaps a sign that even in this world it wanted me to work out and get ripped. They went into my trailer. Venturing inside the houses, there wasn't anything that great. There was food, but nothing more. And with that, and the loot securely in my trailer, headed out once again. On my travels, another house beckoned. Its facade was complemented by a nice looking coupe parked out front. The car held promise, but on inspection, a dying battery made me reconsider. We'll stick with my bike for now. Breaking into the house, I cleared it out of any undead and rummaged for anything useful. After that, I eyed the front yard and cut a tree down. I had checked the other log pile, but there wasn't anything there. Plus 2 logs. Refreshed, refueled, and reloaded, I left the house behind and set off once again. The stretch of road seemed to go on for a while. My legs burned with the familiar ache of relentless pedaling, but I insisted, determined to move forward. Dusk approached, casting long shadows on the horizon. I spotted a lone house, and I had definitely thought that could be my sanctuary for the night. As I neared, the gruesome sight of a horde of undead became clear. There was no turning back now. It was going to be a long battle. Sweat and blood mixed as I took down zombie after zombie. Their numbers seemed endless, but sheer willpower saw me through. Around 30 of the undead lay motionless, and with the threat eliminated, I searched their remains in the nearby garage. Breaking into the house was the next logical step. Hunger gnawed at me, and I found solace in an entire jar of maple syrup. Excessive? Possibly. But it tasted quite good. I secured my surroundings and closed off the curtains and settled in. Oddly enough, with my welding mask still on, I read a magazine in a dark room. The night deepened, and it was around 11:30 p.m. at this point, but before bedding down, I went downstairs, putting on my signature visor. I then smoked a cigarette and enjoyed some beef jerky. It was a simple pleasure in a complicated world. Back inside, I took a moment to review my map. I was just outside of West Point, but even closer to my son. The mission to find him was surely coming closer to completion. With these thoughts, I retired for the night. Sleep was elusive. A strange restlessness had me up in the middle of the night. I munched on some cereal and walked over to the living room and turned on the TV. The voices over the television were almost comforting. I took a light nap, hoping for a better tomorrow. As dawn approached, the house's silence was palpable. There's a kind of stillness that only a post-apocalyptic world knows. My nocturnal snack, the television's dim glow, every little moment was a testament to a fragile sanctuary I've carved out. It reminded me of a time before, but also of the void after. A simple visor, a lone cigarette, a snack. Moments like these once felt trivial. Now they're the sinews that bind me to a time that's no more. I may have taken solace in maple syrup and late-night TV, but it's these quiet, mundane reflections that reveal our most human desires: to find comfort, to protect, and to survive. Project Zomboid doesn't pull its punches. Like life, it can be cruel, unpredictable, and at times, absurdly humorous. Yet, it's in the challenge, the pursuit against all odds, that we truly understand our mettle. Each day survived isn't just a triumph, it's a story. Yes, I may have a ways to go, clues to unravel, a sun to find. There's no telling if the next day will be my last, or if my simple pleasures will be enough to keep the despair at bay. But I'll press on, pedal further, and reach beyond today's horizon. Because in this world of the undead, it's these human moments that keep us truly alive. I'm Celico, and this has been the first leg of my nomadic challenge. I hope you've enjoyed the ride, and I promise there's more road ahead. Until then, keep those pedals turning. See you next time.